Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to create a monoprint today. Monoprints mean one print. Mono means one. These are just really fun because you never know what they're going to turn out to look like. And it's really almost like just playtime. So what this is kind of looks like a piece of Jello. This is called a Gelli-Plate. These are awesome for monoprinting, and we're so lucky that we got some in the art room. So what I've done is I've put ink on one side of the plate, and I'm going to put another color of ink on the other side of the plate. And we're going to do one print together. So this is violet. And this right here, this is a rolly thing. It's called a Brayer. And we use these a lot when we print. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll your ink all over your Gelli-Plate. And if you realize you need more ink, you can put more on there. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to spread it out, and I'm trying to go in the same direction, because if I turn my brayer and go this way, then the ink will get all mixed up. Okay, so I can see a little bit of the purple isn't attaching. Put a little more ink down. Okay. And then you're going to take a texture tool, whichever one you want, and you're going to make a design. So this is not very big, so you can just make one swoop. You can try to curve it, whatever you want to do. I'm going to, let's do this one. I'm going to try and curve mine a little bit. Okay. This is going to have ink on it, so please use a paper towel to wipe that off. And I would even maybe get it back to the sink if you can't get it all off, so you can rinse it. That way, if another person uses it, they don't get ink all over their piece. So, what you're going to do, your hands will probably get messy during this process, so please just be careful about that. You are going to lay a piece of paper on top of this. And you want to line it up so the top is near the top of your plate. And you want to try to eyeball it where it's in the middle. So I can see it's kind of in the middle there, so I'll just scooch it up. I'm going to lay it on top, and I'm going to start rubbing with my hands. I'm not going crazy, just tiny circles, a little bit of pressure. Okay, and then you want to take one corner and you want to peel it up. What you've done is you've made one print. So now we can't do it again because some of the ink is already on our paper, so that's why it's called a one print process. Okay, so what you can do now is you can spritz it, clean it off. This is a little water bottle. You can get a paper towel and clean it off, and you can make a new design, or you can clean it off, make the same design. I'm going to repeat mine, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just the same colors of ink right on top, and I'm going to try to recreate it. Because what we're doing is we're making a background for a future project. So it's up to you. Do you want it to look different, or do you want kind of it to have the same cohesive look in the background? Either way, you want to try to line it up so it's underneath your first print. Okay, so you could flip your paper over, do it that way. And rub. called ghost prints, and you can just lay them on your plate, rub it, and that's going to take off some of the ink. Okay, and once you realize nothing more is coming off, then you're probably good. Okay, and then you can start another one. Now it's going to get messy, but that's okay. Alright, so I've cleaned my plate, I've cleaned my brayer. That means I'm ready to do a second layer. So now I'm picking a new color, and I'm going to do the whole plate in one color here. I'm going to create a texture with, so I'm going to lay a piece of bubble wrap, and you want to make sure it's the bubble side down onto the plate. Press down, peel it up, and then you're going to use this kind of like a stamp. So you're going to get your print in front of you again, and you can print. So I'm just going to put mine right here probably. Let's put it right in the middle. I'm going to do it one more time on the other side just so it's even. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my print to the side, and I'm going to put my ghost print paper on top, rub, hold my ghost print. A lot of times your ghost prints end up looking super cool, so you want to keep that, and then you want to spritz the remainder and wash again for one more print. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm picking one final color. I've cleaned it off, cleaned my brayer, and I'm going to roll the same one color over the whole plate, just like before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my print in front of me. I'm going to set my Gelli-Plate to the side, and I'm going to get a stencil. Okay, and you're going to lay your stencil down where you want it, and you're going to stamp inside the stencil. And if some doesn't show up, that's fine. Then you're going to peel your stencil up. And if you want to do the same thing on this side, you can. Or you can repeat another type of layer that you liked, however you want to do it. Again, so I'm going to set my real print to the side, and I'm going to do a ghost print. Here is my finished mono print. It is unique, one of a kind, using texture tools, stamps, and stencils. Okay, so now that we have finished our mono print process, we are going to draw on top of this. Now this is what a lot of people do with their mono prints, is they'll use it as a background for another kind of image. Some just leave it like this because this is interesting to look at as well. But we're going to draw on top of it. So now this is where you have to kind of decide based upon what you created. If your colors are really dark, then you probably will want to draw with a lighter color. If your colors are pretty light, then you can do a darker color. So your options will be, this is called Conte crayons. And they are these white sticks. They'll get your hands a little messy, but not too bad. They're actually very, very smooth. So you can use this for white, or you can use black ink if you want to work with black. I'm going to actually try to do both. So I'm going to start with white because this I can erase a little bit, so I'm a little safer with this. Now, I'm just going to start right with the Conte, but for those of you that maybe aren't as comfortable with that, you might want to start with a pencil just a little bit to help you get started, okay? So you are going to create a self-portrait, a picture of yourself on top of your monoprint. So that means you're going to have mirrors, you're going to be looking at yourself, you're going to be noticing the shapes of your nose, your eyes, your mouth. You are not just drawing any random person, you are trying to get your likeness. So that means you have to actually look. So what I did is I placed out my face. And now I'm going back in with the Conte. And I'm outlining right directly on top of the print. What is going to be challenging is your ink has given your paper some texture. So you're going to feel kind of bumps as you go along. That's okay. Challenge is good. Okay, so here I'm going to do the neck, which should be this roughly the same size as right about here on your face. And then I'm going to draw shoulders that come directly down and off. I'm going to give myself a shirt to wear. Okay, so I'm pressing lighter here with the white because I know this is going to be covered up with hair eventually. And now I'm going to go through the process of creating a face in the right proportions. So I know the eyes are halfway. So again, if you want to do this with a pencil first, that might be better for you. 5 eyes wide. And you're looking at yourself. Okay, so this is how it looks with the white, and now I'm going to go in with the black ink, and ink is super, super messy, so please keep it in your little container. And these are in baby food jars, so these can break, and you're going to use a brush, a tiny brush. Okay, now that I'm finished with that, now I'm going to go back with the white and kind of bring out some of this because my ink behind it is so dark. You might not need to do this if your ink is light. So I'm going to add in some highlights here around the eyes just so they can appear to come back to life. so I'm going directly into my skin area because I feel my portrait is very lost with all those colors behind it. And so I'm adding in white where I think it's going to look the best. Okay, so now I am pretty much all finished. Basically, this is trial and error to see what works best. So you can go back a little more with your white, you can go back a little more with your black. You decide how you want it to be and look. And this is how you will create your self-portrait.